I'm gonna cut to the chase here. We'll talk about pricing and things that come with this and all that stuff afterwards. They sent me two. I'm as per usual, eventually, not right at this moment. We always give away these things, some event or some other thing we do. They sent me a few. I don't know exactly if the plates are all the same in here. We're gonna find that out together. But they did send me two different colors with two different styles and finishes, and we'll go through pricing afterwards. So, comes in a case, has this little KBD8X thing here too. Is this the one that has that really cool back piece? Okay, no, not yet. Purple and copper. So this is the first one we'll take a look at. I'll let you guys vote on which one we do. Purple's kind of nice. The purple and copper, also kind of nice. So I don't have a KBD8X anymore to show you guys differences, but visually I kind of like the way this looks compared to the older ones. I even think their branding on it, you know, it's nice. It's nice. They did a good job with this. It's visually cool. I like the deeper purple. Yeah. Basic kind of box on wedge, nothing too crazy going on there. But what's really neat, and I think this is an RGB piece, is they have this kind of, I don't know what to call this, tapered down. So the light should just flood out nicely that way there. Pretty nice. So price point UgTug. I got a whole pricing sheet that I requested from them. Pricing wise, we're gonna be looking at a few different things. Final prices can range anywhere from $199 to $279. Now, if you just look for hot swap PCBs, that's why it's gonna be $279. If you want solderable PCBs, the top end would be $269. Honestly, not a bad price. And we're talking about copper weight. I personally think that's not bad, dude. Yeah, and it's gonna be in stock too. So the in-stock drop, I believe, got pushed back a week. They just messaged me about that. I believe it's now gonna be Sunday, October 22nd at 10 p.m. I'm gonna assume the next one I'm gonna show you is the stainless steel version. And I have to verify that with them. I don't know if this is like some special version or this is just like something that I have. But this is the copper one. We'll put this to the side. I'll flip this over for you guys. Now I'm gonna say this takes a lot of inspiration from something else. Well, I think personally it does. There's a lot of colors with these too. I don't have a list of all the color names. Unfortunately, I only got to see photos. Oh, Void Elf was cycle 7. Oh. So this lavender is super pretty. I believe this is an E-coat. I don't think this is Anno. If this is Anno, that's very impressive. However, obviously, definitely inspired a little bit by, I think, Key Cult's, you know, kind of unfinished weights there. Pretty nice though, bro. So this stainless steel, again, I'm not too sure if this is what's listed here. I need to verify that with them. I should ask Holmes afterwards, but it looks like the stainless steel, if you want stainless steel, even with any of the plates, if you want solderable PCB, it's $199. The brass goes up by another $29 and the copper is the most expensive. It looks kind of like stainless steel might be the best choice. I really personally don't think all the different types of materials will cause an insane impact on sound. I specifically spent 3 hours today lubing these because I really wanted to use roses. Let's see what we got in here. So we got our typical screw set. I think I actually have to go grab my one last pair of, I thought this had stabs in it for some weird reason. No. One, it comes with a whole bunch of things here. Two, it comes with some foam. So this is like the gaskets. So we see the standard kind of gaskets we've been seeing a lot of the KBDFans boards come with, which is fine. I like these gaskets. And I believe I only got hot swap PCBs with this. So we have a hot swap PCB and daughter boards in here too, but I think this is a non-standard daughter board if I'm seeing correctly. Let's take a look. I think Spellbook would slap on this. Ooh, Spellbook would look nice on this, dude. Oh, I'm actually not too certain what these are for. I have to figure this out as we go, I guess. But yeah, it's a non-standard daughter board. Interesting. And there's the daughter board if you guys want to see it. Put that to the side. And then we have our KBD8X. So you can see some of those LEDs for that front piece there, which should be a fun little accent to see on it. I'm excited to see how that looks. We have an LED on top of, I guess, the scroll lock area. And then we also have caps lock indicator LEDs, which is nice. The hot swap version has lots of options on it, as you guys can see. Awesome to see that. We have split right shift. It looks like we have ISO support. Do we? I think you might have to solder that. Do you have to solder that? Oh no, you might have to put in your own. Oh yeah, okay. So you do have to put your own hot swap socket on there, which I don't see any extras, but if you did want to put ISO on that, you have to do that. And then we have a whole bunch of other options here. Split backspace, step caps are regular, split left shift, as well as 6.25U or 7U. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I like that, I like that. So we have polycarbonate, aluminum, and I'm gonna assume this is FR4. It feels like FR4. Or are these both aluminum? One of these is FR4, one of these is aluminum. I think this is alu, that's FR4. All right, nothing else in this. And you get the hard shell case, which is kind of like this faux carbon fiber looking type of thing. All right. KTT Rose time. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. The first time I've seen them use these gaskets was on the KBDFans Tiger 80. I quite like them. They're just simple. You slide them onto the end over there. Very, very awesome. I kind of prefer these over their more recent bowl gaskets they've been adding to 1 or 2 boards. The bowl gaskets IMO weren't my thing. I also felt they were also a pain in the ass to install. These just slide on. Yeah, the Tofu, did the Tofu Junior have that? What came first, Tofu Junior or KBDFans Tiger 80 Lite? I can't recall the history. These just slide on and then you get your gaskets, that's all. Is KTT Rose still your favorite switch? It's one of my favorite switches. I think I have 2 now, truly. I think Nixies and Roses are 2 of my favorite. But I have to give the edge to Roses, because Roses still cost, like, I think they're pretty cheap compared to Nixies, right? I don't remember the exact price of Roses, because when I do buy them, I buy them in bulk. So I never recall the prices, but... how do you lube your Roses? So I do a very, I mean, it depends on what sound signature you want to go for, but I do a very light coat of 205G0. I also tend to lightly lube the springs. I don't oil them, I just lightly lube them. And then the key to Roses, and to a lot of switches, you got to avoid putting any lube anywhere near the stem of the switch. Because if you get any lube into the center hole of the rose, where the stem would go up and down, like it's gonna sound like trash. And I feel like a lot of switches share that same kind of ideology. Just don't lube that area. Now, looks like we have adhesive feet. I would have liked to see them kind of hop on the trend of using press-in feet, but not the end of the world. These feet are gray. Interesting. The quality of the ano, that's my fingerprint over there, but the quality looks pretty good. I'll take a look at it more as we open the case. The copper is really nice on this too. This is the most expensive edition, by the way. So this is $279. The keyboard itself would start at $199 if you want to go with the stainless, which, if I'm going to be honest, I think the stainless looks nicer than this, but if you prefer a clean kind of copper look and that goes well with the color that you want, perhaps you would want to pay the extra dollar space there. I kind of like the space type font and branding. They've come a long way since using Comic Sans, I'll tell you that much. And that's all I can really say there, guys. They've come a long way. So let's see the internals of this now. We do have to take this off as well to get to the daughter board area. So they have a little piece of, I'm assuming this is polycarbonate over here to diffuse the LED, which is cool. Then you have the top mount, or you can do the gaskets. In this case here, we're doing gaskets today. Gave a little bit of room for the screw for the top mount to kind of sit there properly, which is good to see, so that was thought of. So it looks like there's another set of screw holes in here. It looks like maybe this could be used with a universal daughter board at some point, but I'm not sure what this, I'm not sure if that's possible. But it does look like you could possibly install something there. All right, doesn't really get pinched at all there. Okay, perfect, that's awesome. It's just gonna sit and move on its own. Cool. Easy to install. Cable channels seem like they're working okay. No fidgeting around with them too as you're putting the weight back on. Very awesome. And these are for the top mount as well if you want to get little burger mount, I guess, going on with that, which is nice to see. Oh, this sits down nicely too. I like the design of this. It's just simple. The weight's nice. I like the weight. The weight kind of has a lip. Kind of comes off to the side here. It's a nice looking board. It's going to be in stock as well, which is cool. Let me see if Purple Knight looks good on this. Hold on. All right, let's plug this guy in. Oh, that's nice. You can see some hot spots of the LEDs on the camera, but I will say in person you don't see that. I like that. Like, it's more like that. That's what you kind of see like from my angle. I'm sure if you turn off the light, actually no, it's just more like a straight line. It doesn't have like a glow, an ambient glow forward. Okay, interesting. I still really like the way this looks. It's simple. I like the LED on it. So, in terms of typing feel, right away I can tell this is a little bit stiffer. That's a preference thing though, so this is not to take away from the keyboard at all. This is no foam, yeah, no foam right now. KTT roses, which are, I'd say, like middle of the pack in terms of like loudness and clackiness or whatever you want to call it. They're just kind of in the middle, which is nice. This is the gasket mount with aluminum. I have a feeling I'm going to do another PCB with this. We have one more PCB. I have a feeling I'm going to like the top mount polycarbonate a lot, but I would like to try polycarbonate gasket with this as well. Because this is giving me kind of top mount vibes right now. I don't necessarily love it with the aluminum. It's not my sound profile. Maybe we have to use some foam. Let me try a different spacebar switch. Could be switch dependent as well. I feel like there's a lot of resonance happening. I feel like there is like a lot of like echoing kind of happening in the case itself. Nixie or something here in a second. Okay, even with this switch, the long pull switch, it still sounds echoey. Okay, I'm gonna put back the KTT rose and let's put one layer of foam on the bottom. See if we can tweak it that way. I mean, the benefit of this is it's gonna be a not crazy expensive board for what feels like a premium build quality. However, I'm not super confident at all right now in the gasket aluminum mount. Perhaps some other combinations sound better. I would assume the top mount sound really good with polycarbonate anyways, but it's not really fitting my vibe right now. It's probably caused by this flat bottom, just so you guys can see. The weight's on the outside and all the sound probably reflects a lot facing right back up. So let's see if some foam can help, I guess, tame this ever so slightly without making it sound foamy. And I have no issue with using foam if it doesn't make it sound super foamy. We'll do a really thin sheet. This is a pretty thin sheet of foam here. They give you some different thicknesses to play with. So we'll start with this and we'll move on to the next. But let's see if we can get the gasket mount to sound good before we just give up and try a different mounting style. Okay. That immediately sounds better. I'm also going to do one thing here. They seem to put some gasket points right underneath the spacebar, and I can feel that. I'm going to remove these gaskets underneath the spacebar here. So 1 and 2. Let's just get rid of these guys. All right, one foam fixed it, it looks like. Still a little slight bit of resonance, but I'll live with that. Now it sounds fun. A little bit of resonance. Or maybe we do one more foam, guys. Do you guys like this? Or is it actually a force break problem? Hold on. I'm gonna unscrew it and try typing on it and see if that actually makes a difference. It's better? Yeah, it's better for sure. Ooh, it actually might be a force break thing. All right, well, how do we rectify that now? Better but fixable? Yeah. How thick are these? Should we just use these things? I believe these are supposed to be for the top mount. I don't think these are supposed to be for. I don't know if these are too thick though. Yeah, so if you guys are wondering what force break is, you're just kind of making sure the top frame and the bottom piece of the frame don't have contact and just start vibrating and echoing. Some boards I've seen actually have something like that kind of built in, so it doesn't even, you don't even have to worry about it. So the board starts at $199. It's going to be in stock. I don't think this board is an obscene price point. However, I still would like, and I urge KBD fans to perhaps consider refining some of their internal structure. Like, one thing that KBD fans should do with enough of these kind of like builds that a lot of us do here in the community is they should even just like not include mounting points underneath their space bars. Like, figure out that if a board has some echoiness with one of their mounting styles, they should possibly include some sort of force break stickers or just something like that inside their boards. Just have it ready to go for people. Because, you know, giving people the ability in the box to just have something ready to install is a great thing. Or just build it into the board or design kind of like the case around it. But I'm curious though. I'm actually going to remove this piece of foam now that we have the force break mod, and see if that makes any difference. I don't know if you guys are also curious with that, but I am curious. In theory, the board should sound nice. If this works with force break, you know, this makes sense to buy. I don't see why this doesn't make sense to buy. If you like the way this looks and everything's good, then I don't see why this isn't a good purchase. But for other things for TKLs, I don't really know what's in stock right now. That seems to have fixed the resonance. Do you guys hear? I hear a little bit more of it still. It could also be a bit of the 1.2 millimeter PCB, but I don't have anything to compare. No, you don't have to put it near the screw points. I used to do that thinking the same thing, but then it doesn't really matter too much. It's just gonna have some sort of effect of lifting the board completely. I don't actually tighten the screws to the point where it would matter that much. Like, I can't bend the aluminum that way. let me try something. Let's go grab some other switches. And let me try putting some different switches in here just to give it a little tester. Actually, let's try the Obscuros. This goes here. Okay. So here's the space bar now.
Sheesh.
It still sounds... The long pole spacebar sounds great. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think there's a slight bit of hollowness. Let's put the one layer of foam back in. I mean, it sounds great now with some of the foam absorbing. Like, let's take out the HJ and K again because they're Obscuros. I do like it now with the foam absorbing some of the sound, some of the harsher sounds, and it doesn't really sound foamy. So maybe the move here is to put that thin layer of foam at the bottom, which, believe it or not, I've been seeing people on some of the, even the more, like the Korean side of YouTube, where it's them building keyboards there. They tend to put a piece of, what's it called? The PE foam at the bottom of their boards. I think it sounds nicer. There's no resonance at all now, like it's completely gone and removed. Yeah, this sounds nicer. I don't hear any foaminess either, personally. Yeah, I don't think this sounds bad if you put the one layer of foam with the aluminum gasket mount. However, I feel like we did have to force break it to get to this point, so that's something you would need to do additionally if you were interested in maybe the aesthetic of this board or whatever. I am going to try the PC plate. I'm going to try that. We're going to try top mount. I'm just not 100% sold on the aluminum gasket on this. I don't mind it in this though. I'm still satisfied with the end result. However, I do think that we had to do some tweaking to get here, so it's not quite an out-of-the-box experience, if that's what you guys are wondering, perhaps. But I'll mention it to KBD fans. I'm gonna send them a message after this, or maybe tomorrow morning, saying that I do think some sort of force break needs to be included with this, or something like that. Other than that, the board looks okay. Like, it looks pretty fun. I'm not completely upset with it. It's not going to be a super high price point. That doesn't excuse it from needing to be force break though, but still not crazy expensive. So I'm not super pressed about it personally. So we'll see though. We'll see what their response to that will be. We have some TTC switches we're going to be using for this. This is called a plate fork. It helps support the polycarbonate plate from slipping and just bending and just being a nuisance. These are the ultimate in tools. I swear to goodness they are. I guess I don't need gaskets if I'm doing top mount, right? This is the cool purple one with or the pink one with that cool finish on the bottom here. Although it didn't take well to some of my fingerprints. All right, now I gotta figure out the best way to put these things on because I have no idea. Should I bother with this? These are optional, but these seem really complex to put on. I'll just put them on the plate. That's a good call. The plate does have a bit of a texture to it though, however. So I worry that this won't stay as well on that. Also, I'm not gonna bother with these two because I am not gonna screw those in, but I probably will just stick the, actually, you know what? I probably will stick the O-rings on it just in case though. Sorry, which switches are those? These are TTC switches, equivalent to TTC Hay switches though. They're not the colorway of the Hay switches, but they are equivalent to it. Let's see. I still think we're probably gonna need to force break this, by the way, guys. I don't think this is gonna be any exception to the board itself. I think we're most likely still gonna need to force break this guy. But let's grab some keycaps and we will try this board out. I'm just picking the first thing I have. Oh, this sounds miles better, guys. This sounds miles better already. Oh yeah, this is so much better already. So it seems like the gasket mount maybe is just putting too much, there's probably a lot of pressure happening with those harder silicone gaskets in the gasket mount version, which is just causing the board to completely transfer all of its resonance in from the bottom and the top into the plate. Maybe it's also a combination of us using the aluminum plate on that one there too. But type and feel is very soft. As you guys can see, there is some movement happening here. I didn't screw in the two underneath the spacebar. It is soft for a top mount, but it does still have some of its rigidity from being a top mount, right? But because it's polycarbonate and also a thinner PCB, we do get some movement happening here in terms of bounce. But I think this is way better than the aluminum gasket mounted one that we tried. I'm going to be honest, I didn't quite love the other KBDFans one that we built. It was good, but not with the amount of stuff that we had to do to get it to where it was. This out of the box, I think, is a very enjoyable sound. It does retain some of its resonance a little bit, I can hear, but it's like good. This also has a little bit more life to it too. Yeah, I think this is kind of just a wake-up call for the KBDFans Mark III, or just a lot of the KBDFans boards, to not use those silicone gaskets. I think they do need to change that up into something else. It feels like on most of the aluminum boards they've been making with those particular gaskets, as fun as they are to install and just easy, I do think they need to just tweak them a little bit because they don't work in every scenario. And I think that's the problem with them, is they work sometimes, but not all the time. However, they are still, like I said, very easy to install. It's a very nice build process. Perhaps just needs to be tweaked a little bit. This sounds great. No third build. This was a fast build. I already knew this was gonna be fast. Yeah, top mount always sounds good. So it's very rare that I get a top mount build that I don't like. Very rare. But yeah, okay, that makes me a little bit more confident to recommend this board. I just think that, like most of these dual mounting boards that have been coming out, there usually is one mount that's better than the other, and it's usually significant. It seems to be the case in this guy here. It seems to be the top mount is, I mean, again, it's all preference based, but at least to me, does seem like the more, I guess, well thought out and better sounding and feeling board without some sort of hindrance to it. So the top mount works a lot for this, maybe not the gasket mount. And again, it's been a common trend with these dual mount boards. However, I appreciate the dual mount boards and I don't want that to stop. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Love you and talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye, everybody.